I'm eating, but I was doing what I always do, which is scroll. Well, actually, I'm sitting in front of the TV, eating my breakfast, and I was like scrolling. I was listening. I'm watching, and then I was like, I came across a tweet, and it was basically like a meme of like everybody saying, you think man can fly and all that. Like, basically, there's always people that aren't looking at the future. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where we're at now. Because I think we're at I don't want to say it's unique. Because I'm sure 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 250 years ago, there was always a group of people that thought everything was going to stay the same forever, right? And thinking like that, like, you realize, I think I have to say, I think it's a disproportionate amount of people, or like a larger vocal amount of people, because we have just so much more technology, so just we can communicate much with everybody. I think nobody can see an actual future. And part of why I think that is because like so many Americans, I thought like maybe like 1% of evangelical Christians thought that the rapture was going to happen, cuz that's like crazy. That's like actually, it's just crazy. But like so many people think the rapture could happen any moment now. Like today, tomorrow, in an hour, in 48 hours, like the rapture? Are you serious? You think the world is going to end any second? And that's why you don't care about anything? Oh, wow. Like that is actually crazy. I just can't comprehend that people are living like that. And then you look at it and you're like, no wonder. That's why they don't want anything to get better. That's why everything is getting worse, and they're just like taking it. They're just taking it because they think some glorious biblical event is going to happen that'll make all their suffering worth it, because they're going to die and go to heaven. Jesus is going to come back, and they're going to get sucked up into heaven, and then they won't have to worry about suffering anymore. And then I was like, ah, oh, that's what we're up against. We're up against, and by we, I mean people that are constantly striving towards the future. But that's what we're up against. Like, we're up against people that have lost it. They genuinely, I have no problems with religion, but the problem I have is that people is too involved, first off, and then second off, people have stopped realizing that they're human. Like, what do you think you're here for? You're here to live. You had kids and you think that your kids are just gonna die tomorrow? Like, I think maybe you should be planning, because you don't know. You don't know if that thing in your book is gonna happen today, tomorrow, or in 1,000 years. You don't know when that's happening. So why in the world are you letting the world get worse? Like, nobody. I think boomers were the last generation where the people before them, the older people, actually saw a future for their descendants. And I mean, a while back. So their children and their children's children, I do actually think that they were trying to help have something, settle something in some type of way. They wanted them to have a future, and they wanted a better world for them. And I think it ended with boomers, because I think Gen X just had it. Gen X had it pretty rough, because their parents and some of them were like heavily involved in the crack epidemic, and I think that was like one of the first steps to losing like all sense of anything. The 80s were so bad. Like when you really think about it, the 80s was the end of dreaming of a future. Like the 80s, but that was like it planted the seed. The 80s planted the seed for people to no longer think of what could be. Like I really think that people just like gave up on thinking of what else there could be. I'm like in the 90s, I genuinely think in the 90s everybody was just kind of like, okay, we're going to work and basically life is going to be exactly like this forever. Like the rest of like we've reached the end of what is possible almost. And so like every after like 2000, I want to say 2016 is basically when everything just kind of I'm actually let me bring it back. The 2000s was like the last time meaningful changes in like have been happening. Like meaningful like true changes. Like the like technological advancement is stagnant now. I don't care what anybody says. It's stagnant. We're only getting small little changes and small little differences in things. We're not actually getting big changes. We're not getting something that completely is turning life on its head. And I'm not including AI. AI, I'm not including it. I'm not including it. It's because that's just like whatever. That nobody's using AI in the thoughts of improving human life. Nobody's doing that. Improving the world. Nobody's using it with that in mind. Nobody is, and you can't convince me that they are. What they're doing is they're doing their little AI startup so that they can sell it for hundreds of millions of dollars, and then it can be used to bomb people in the Middle East. That's what it's for. It's not for anything else, and you're not gonna convince me that anybody is starting AI with any pure heart. They're just hoping to make money. And that's where we're at. Everybody is just thinking about making money. Like we don't even like build beautiful things anymore. And it just makes me like we don't build anything. And people need jobs. Like when you really think about it, what's the easiest way to get a job? Let's start making things. Like I was on Reels and like this little geography thing popped up and it was like employment levels in each state, and it's really rough. But you know how many people would be employed, especially in southern states, and oh, it's like in West Virginia, how many people would be employed? Missouri, Alabama, um, Mississippi. Like how many people could be employed if our government was building things? If we were using some of the money that is ruining everybody's life to build some stuff, I think we would have a lot of jobs. If we were training people to work, to have jobs, like you have to look and realize that we are at a stage in the world where most jobs are service jobs because most people are working for each other. So there's people like it's not endless. Like service jobs are endless, I will say. Service jobs are one of those things that are endless because everybody needs something. But you need people like you have to make things for other people. Like that's just everybody's doing something in service to somebody else. And that's just how humanity works. We have to work together. Like everything is communal. If I want to eat tomorrow, I need the farmers to work. If I don't have farmers, I can't eat and neither can the farmers, right? So you just have to depend on each other. And we need people to build. We need people to and then when you have people building things, like maybe make a new city, make bigger cities, make cities again. Like cuz I live in Baltimore, and Baltimore every time I look at it, I'm just like we could do more. Cuz like Baltimore to me is just so little. My family is from New York. I've been to Philly a bunch of times, and I'm just like why? Why is it so small? Why is it so little? Why is like everything, like, where's a, like, I know there's a lot of people here, but like everything's so contained, and then you immediately get to the suburbs. You know what the suburbs doesn't do for anybody? The suburbs does not provide any jobs. The suburbs does not provide any jobs. The most jobs you're gonna get in the suburbs is like house like sort of maintenance jobs, gardening, and working on the streets or something. You know what cities need? Cities need constant work, 24/7. They need people working in cities all the time. Because cities, because there's a bunch of people there, because there's so much there, they need workers. They need people to work, and they need people to do services. They need somebody they need somebody to make the coffee. They need somebody to make lunch. They need that. And then they need the people to work in the little offices. Well, that's a part of the problem. Not many people are working in little offices anymore because there's a lot of reasons. But like, there's no, like, okay, so this is my, if I was the leader of the United States, I'm gonna say leader, not president. I'm in charge, but I might not be. Okay, if I was the president and I had full control, I had the House, I had the Senate, I had everybody, and I had full control, and everybody was on my side. One of the first things I'm doing in office is federal jobs program. What do I mean by that? We're doing infrastructure. We're doing infrastructure, state by state infrastructure. We're gonna have a 10-year train program. All them people making the bombs, switch. You're gonna start making trains. Whoever gives me the first high-speed train in the United States of America, you know what you get? Subsidies. That better make you work fast. And if y'all not working fast enough, snatchies. Now your company is my company. Your company is the company of the people. No longer working for shareholders, you're working for the people. You're working for the people, and you're working for the state, and the state works for the people. That's just it. The state works for the people. I'm taking your company. Y'all was killing me. Y'all was really playing. Y'all was working slow, and y'all kept trying to steal more and more money. I know how much I know how much this shit costs. China did it in like 30 years. And like, they didn't, high speed trains didn't happen in 30 years. They happened in even shorter span of time. Japan got it. And we dropped 2 bombs on them. So why can't we do it? Why can't we do it? And how many people will have jobs? Because you know what? The trains will always need maintenance. The trains will always need somebody to clean them. And the train's always going to need people to work there. You're going to have people in the stations. You're going to have people on the train. And on the train, they got to be able to serve food. They got to do customer service. They got to drive the train. Like, do all of that training. Like, at the train station, you're going to have baggage. You're going to have, well, actually, it's a train. You don't need to have baggage. Everybody just brings their stuff on with them by themselves. But you're going to have check-in. You're going to have food. You're going to have stores. You're going to have a whole lot of things. And you know what all those things are going to be? Jobs. And you know what? In these rural areas, you know what they can build around the train station? Because we used to do that. Towns used to be built around train stations. There would be a town, or vice versa. There would be a town, they make a train station, and then the town gets bigger. The town gets more money because people are driving through there, stopping, using the bathroom, eating, doing what they need to do. Then they get back on their train, and then they go to the next place. Now, I think that would be a lot of jobs. Because we're past coal. Nobody's doing coal anymore. Nobody's doing the factory stuff anymore. That's not happening. So you know what we got to do? Give these people some jobs. The Key Bridge, if I was in charge of that thing would already be done. The Key Bridge would be done, and it would be beautiful. And We're making buildings. Everything, like, the world is a beautiful place. We're helping states improve their local, uh, so not interstate, um, train travel, okay? Interstate railroads, that's gonna be my job as the government. State railroads, that's the state's job. But you know what the state will be doing? They're gonna do their job, and then they're gonna be like, hey, we have a great plan, but we need a little bit more money. And you know what my job is? To give them a little bit more money. We're going to have a plan. States that are, first off, every state is going to propose their thing to them, their people, to the government. And everybody's got to be like, oh, yes, that sounds good. We're going to do housing. You know what housing is? People, living space. We're going to do schools. We're going to do libraries. We're going to do parks, public bathrooms, and we're going to have public space. Like, you want clean cities? Hire people to clean the cities. People need jobs. People will work those jobs. We need, and give them the right amount of money. We need people to pick up our trash, right? So pay the people that pick up our trash a lot of money, because you don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do it, but they deserve to have the money to pick up the trash. And then pay more people to clean the city. Have it on rotation. We'll have beautiful, clean cities. Build housing. Beautiful, clean cities where homeless people are no longer homeless. And then education. Everybody is going to have to read. Everybody's going to have to learn how to read. Everybody's got to be able to write. And you should be able to pursue that for free. And then I'm sure population boom. Population boom. Because everybody feels like, oh, life is good. Life is good. And having a child is not a $1 million ordeal. It just is. And community, we'll have better community because we'll have more access to community. And we'll all be more connected because you can hop on a train for $15 to get between cities. Because it should take like, I don't know, 2 seconds for me to get from Baltimore to DC. And it should take me 3 seconds for me to get from DC to New York and stop in Philly. Like, we can do it, but they don't want to spend the money on us. They want to spend the money on different things. And I'm just saying all this because I have an image of the future that I want. That's what I want. And I realize, like, so many people just don't have anything. They don't have any idea of what their future could look like. So they would rather just have somebody come and snatch them into the sky. The whole United States. Half of all people in the United States, maybe even half of all people in the world, are passively suicidal, waiting for the world to end. And that is really sad. And that's why life is just so hard now. Because nobody has any joy in their heart. And I feel bad for everybody. I want everybody to have joy.